Welcome to Q&A, Questions Need Answers. I'm your host, James Munch II. Most people know me as Munch. This is a space where we talk about community, culture, and politics. We invite honest conversation, critical thinking, and community dialogue in this space. And today, I have none other than Miss Renee Gordon, running for judge. What court?
Circuit Court, Group 35.
Circuit Court, Group 35, okay? And I did a thing. I my only goal this year is to get the judges, okay?
Yes.
We y'all get the congressional districts, y'all get the state senators, y'all get the reps, everybody else, but we skip the judges. And so my only goal this year was to get the judges, okay? And I think I got the 3 I wanted, but there's more people we need to make sure we get, that we gonna hopefully get everybody that's a judge that's running, because the judges are one of the most important. And so I'm very happy and elated that we have Miss Renee Gordon. I met her some time ago, and that's my buddy right there. This ain't an endorsement, but that's my buddy, okay? I'm just letting you know what I'm saying? So on this show, we want people to get to know you,
okay.
You know what I'm saying? So it's not an I got you moment, not heavy politics, but I want people to get to know the folks that's running for these positions, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's bigger than the title.
Yes.
So,
yes.
First to kick things off, tell the people a little bit about yourself, where you from, how you grew up, that sort of thing.
Okay, well, first of all, let me first thank you for allowing me to come here. And also thank you for being in the community, giving service to the community. Man, I looked around this bookstore. This was a desert place in terms of books. Mm-hmm. But you came here and watered it in a dry place. So I want to thank you for that, and thank you for what you do. So with that being said, let me tell you a little bit about who I am. My name is Renee Gordon. Of course, they know that. I'm born and raised right here in Miami-Dade County. Product of the public schools, Dade County Public Schools. I would say which one I went to, but I know people are going to be talking about the West, so I ain't going to say which one.
That means you went to Jackson.
we ain't said.
You can say that, it's
no,
okay.
I went to Miami Springs.
You went to Miami Springs?
Yes, I went to Miami Springs.
Okay.
So, but I love the community. I've been practicing for more than 35 years. Actually, what I've been saying is I've been serving the community and the courthouse for more than 35 years. Okay. I practice in both civil and criminal, which means I've done the only 2 areas you could do, and so that's the diversity of service. But I practice in criminal misdemeanors, felonies, juvenile, domestic violence, dependency. I've also practiced in civil and probate, landlord, tenant. I've done everything. So it's not just the length of my service, 30 years. It's the breadth of my service as well. I've trained and supervised attorneys. As a matter of fact, some of the judges currently on the bench I've trained. I'm also an adjunct professor at FIU College of Law. So, but I think that certainly is the traditional qualifications. But what I've done most of my life is serve the community, public service. Now, see, we would call it community service. My grandmama would say, you just got to help folks. That's what she would say. You just got to help folks. And so that's what I've been doing. And I know I'm a public defender, and I know my grandmother would be proud of me. Not because I became a lawyer, but she would be proud that I learned what she was trying to share with me, that you got to help people, you got to serve people, because I became a public defender. And she would say, my grandbaby is a lawyer for people who need lawyers and can't afford one. Mm-hmm. She would be happy that I served. Mm-hmm. So that's a little bit about who I am.
So what influenced you to get into law?
Well, I'm going to tell you a funny story. The nearest and the closest lawyer I knew growing up was Perry Mason. But I will tell you, I have vowed, and I speak at public schools because I vowed that no young girl should grow up not ever seeing a lawyer and knowing a lawyer. So that's why I speak at schools today. But he was just adamant about finding the truth. He was adamant about justice. And he was adamant about representing people who most people wouldn't have represented and believing in them. And because of that, that's what instilled a real desire in me to help justice, make things right for people. And so I think that's what inspired me to become a lawyer.
So where did you end up studying law?
I studied at the University of Connecticut School of Law because I'm not one of your traditional attorneys that went from college to law school. No, fortunate for me, and it's not unfortunate, I had to work. So I worked through law school, and when I got out of law school, I worked. And I worked a number of years. I went to law school later in life. But I think that was one of the best things that happened to me because I had a broad experience, life experiences that I brought with me to law school and certainly has brought with me as a lawyer. As a matter of fact, I ran a halfway house in Miami-Dade County for juvenile kids. I was a social worker.
Oh, okay.
I ran a halfway house for kids who were considered in trouble or delinquent or had cases right here in Miami-Dade County.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good to know. I didn't know that. So you was in social work?
I was a social worker.
So you went to college for law, but
No,
you went to college social work?
So social work,
Okay.
and BA in business. And then when I decided to go to law school, I just went to law school and finished. And then when I came out of law school, I thought that I was going to work for DCF. And because I have a heart for children, and I've done a lot of work with children. As a matter of fact, my nickname around the courthouse for kids is Mother Love. That's what they call me in the thing, because I really do. I love our kids, and I want to make sure that our kids, have a chance at success in this life, especially our kids in Miami-Dade County. And I thought that was going to be my direction until someone saw me and said no. And I kept seeing kids coming into the system. And sometimes what I would do is I would go to their court appearances and try to do some mitigations. Judge, look at this. And I realized, you know what? No, some of these kids don't even belong here. I need to be on this side of the aisle. And so that's why I came to the public defender's office, a lawyer. I wanted to be in juvenile. They made me do the whole route of all the areas first, and then I came back to juvenile.
So you did like practice. You talking about practice other forms?
Yeah.
Of law
Oh yes.
before going to juvenile?
I practiced in criminal. I practiced misdemeanors, felonies, domestic violence. You name it. I did all of that. You did the circle. You practiced. Tried a lot of cases, over 100 cases to verdict. Those are jury trial cases, and that's something every judge I think needs to have under their belt. The experience of trying cases, not just bench cases, but jury cases.
What inspires you to want to become a judge?
I think it's a number of things. The first one is I think Miami-Dade County deserve good judges. Sometimes Munch, it's just you do it because there's a need. You ever heard the slogan that, if you got a business where there's a need, you try to fill it? Mm-hmm. Well, that's what I try to do. There's a need for good judges who are going to be fair, judges who are going to exercise some integrity, judges who are going to treat people that come before them with dignity and respect. We need that. We deserve that in Miami-Dade County. So that is one of the reasons. Plus, I think I can make a difference. I know that for some people, this is a job. But that's not what it is for me. For me, it's a calling. I took it out of Psalms 82. Defend the point of justice. Deliver them out of the hands of the wicked. For judges know not, have no knowledge. And so I aspire to do that. I told God I would do that. So for me, it's about a mission. My mission field just happened to be the courthouse and a courtroom. But it's a mission. Mm-hmm. So I think aside the county needing, the residents and people needing good judges, for me, it's a calling. And you can't bury a calling. Mm-hmm. You know, I think it is to ensure, the Bible says something profound. So lets you know that this has been going on a long time. Amos said, let justice roll down like waters and righteousness like mighty rivers. It's one of the same things Martin Luther King said.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing I'm saying. Justice, fairness, righteousness, integrity. Those are the kinds of things we need to see happening in a judicial system. And I believe I am being called to do that.
What are some of the things that you've experienced in the justice system that I wouldn't say you would like to change, but inspires you to run because you would do things differently?
Oh man, okay. One of the things, there are a number of stories. The one that come to mind is the story where it was actually not my client. It was another attorney's client. But the judge had ordered the young man to go to school and told him, if you don't go to school, I'm going to put you in a program where you won't have to worry about going to school because you're going to, and these were her exact words, because you're going to be living there. He didn't go to school. The first week of school, he didn't go. And so the judge was very angry. And the judge said to the kid, why didn't you go to school? And he said, I didn't have any clothes. And the judge got furious. She said he was lying to her, not telling the truth, and she was putting him in a program. And I ran over. I was over here, and I ran over to the attorney. I said, could you just give me a minute? And I was trying to whisper to her what I thought should happen, but I realized she wasn't getting it. So I said, Judge, can we go sidebar? And so I told him, Judge, we need to go sidebar. And so the attorney did say that, Judge, just sidebar, because I guess she wanted to hear what I was trying to say. And when we went sidebar, I talked to this judge about he was not lying to you when he didn't say he had no clothes. See, in some communities, the first week of school is critical.
Critical.
And if you don't have the right clothes,
you can't go.
You can't go. You ain't gonna go. And you need to understand that. That's what he was saying to you.
Yeah.
And what I want you to do is reset this case for 30 days. Now that he's got his clothes, reset it for 30 days and see if he go to school. Well, you know what happened.
Yeah. He got his clothes. He went to school.
Amen. And see, that's something that takes a kind of cultural sensitivity that you got to understand. Mm-hmm. In order to make the right decision. This kid would have been going away for 9 months, away from his family, away from his community, because a judge did not believe he was telling her the truth when he didn't go to school. Those are the kinds of things you see all the time. And I know that, the good thing about this particular judge was she listened. Mm-hmm. And she did the right thing. Mm-hmm. Because she had someone who could talk to her about what was a difference that she may not have been
understood,
exactly,
or aware of. Mm-hmm. So one thing that came to mind, I keep hearing this, and when we was offline, we was talking about, could you explain, since you're a teacher, a professor, I need you to explain the difference between the circuit court and the county court.
Okay.
Is that?
Yeah, there is a difference. And the way I like to explain it is think of floors and mm-hmm. ceilings. Mm-hmm. So the county court, the ceiling is no cases where sentencing is more than a year. So if the sentence is going to be a year, county court can't hear it. No cases where the ceiling is $15,000. All right, that's the ceiling.
$15,000 bail?
$15,000 in terms of civil cases, how much money cases.
Oh, okay.
Can't do
like small claims.
That's right. So that's county court. Mm-hmm. So that's the ceiling.
Now, in county court.
In county court. Ceiling, no case over a year, and no cases above $15,000.
Okay.
Okay, now circuit court. Think of floors. Mm-hmm. Circuit court, you can do everything above a year, everything above a year. Life sentence, death penalty cases. Mm-hmm. Money, 15 and up, you can do it. Mm-hmm. No matter what. So those are the difference. Think of ceiling and floors. Ceiling for county, year, prison, $15K. Floor, anything above $15K, anything above a year.
Who decides what court you go to? Like, how does that decision made? Like, is it based on who you get arrested with, or how does that work?
It works based on, and let's talk about criminal. It works based on the charge.
Okay.
So if you get a charge for what is considered a misdemeanor, trespassing, a petty theft, then you will go to county court.
Mm-hmm.
If you get a charge for a felony, grand theft over a certain amount, then you'll go to aggravated battery. You go into circuit court.
Fleeing.
Fleeing and eluding a police officer.
That's what I got.
Yeah, that's circuit court.
Even though I wasn't fleeing, I stopped. Mm-hmm. I made a stop. They talking about I was fleeing.
And okay, I know this is a little bit off topic, but you know I love kids and I talk to kids often. And I tell them, you know, if a police gets behind you, slow down to a crawl, but get to a lighted space. Get somewhere real lighted.
That's what I did.
That's what I figured you did. Go slow, don't rush, get lighted space. I tell them, listen, turn on the interior lights so they can see inside. Keep your hands on the steering wheel. Don't reach, don't open your door. Don't reach to the glove compartment to pull out your, the license, registration. Keep your hands on the wheel. Why? Because when you don't do that, police officers may charge you with something. But what I'm going to tell you, why I know you did the right thing, because you're still here.
Mm-hmm.
Do you not know what happened to that charge? It went away.
Nah, I had to pay some good amount of money. It didn't go away.
So what happened
It went away when I paid a good amount
of money. Okay, but it went away. And you here?
Yeah.
And the case went away. Because I try to tell kids, don't try to fight that on the street. See, you saying, why y'all put me over for fleeing and eluding? I wasn't fleeing and eluding. I was just driving slow. But I wasn't trying to flee you. Mm-hmm. But see, I know this is sad, but I tell kids, let me fight that. You just say, okay, because I want you to go home safe.
Yeah. That's my thing. So I had a lot of people advise me, man, you could beat the case if you just go to court, talk to the judge. I say, no. I'm calling a lawyer because I'm not walking in there.
Yes.
The way I look. No. It's not happening. Is that the best thing to do? Is to put representation in front of you? Because that was always my thought process.
Here's what I'm going to say. It depends on the kind of case and what it is. Because some things, I would tell anyone, of course, get representation. But listen, some people can't afford it. And if you can't afford it, there's the public defender who are great lawyers. Let me tell you something. Our community has a misconception that public defenders are not even lawyers. Public defenders are excellent lawyers for a number of reasons. One, they try more cases than anyone, so they know the law. They get better training than almost any attorney out here because they constantly have to be up on CLEs. They constantly have to be up on their training, continually legal education.
Okay.
They're continually getting educated through the office. The other thing is the public defender has a investigative staff. So they got private investigators on staff that you don't have to pay for. They go out and will investigate your case. But they got also mitigation specialists on staff that you don't have to pay for. You go private.
What's a mitigation specialist?
That's a person who looks at your case to try to see if there's some things that we could mitigate it, make it less so that your sentencing will be better. And, they're on staff as well. And I'll give you an example. If you privately get an attorney and you need an evaluation, some of those evaluations alone are $3,000. Mm-hmm. Just alone evaluation. Mm-hmm. You got the public defender's office that can get you an evaluation if you're indigent. So I'm saying that the public defender is a great office. It really is. It's an excellent office. So, in criminal cases, there are very few criminal cases, I can't even think of one right now, where you will not get a lawyer. Either you will, have the means to secure a lawyer financially, or if you don't, you may be eligible for a public defender.
Yeah, I think the biggest, just candidly talking, I think I said this in the last interview, that one of the biggest issues or biggest stigmas misconceptions that I've heard is that public defenders got so many cases, like the caseload, and it's not like, they always say they don't care about your case, but is there some truth to that? Is it a caseload issue, or how is it that they, you know what I'm saying?
I've been a public defender. I've been working there 22 years. It is not a caseload issue. You know what the issue really is? It's perception, and it's perception about money. See, many people feel like if you don't pay a lot of money for it, it's not valuable. Mm-hmm. The value comes from the amount of money you pay. And since a public defender, you don't pay, some people don't value it. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the real issue, is perception. Caseloads, listen, yes, public defenders have caseloads, but we know how to manage those caseloads. We've been doing it forever. And a lot of cases go to trial, some cases don't go to trial. One of the things why you want a public defender is because that attorney is in that particular judge's courtroom all the time. So they know how that judge thinks, how that judge feels about certain issues. They know how to frame issues in front of this judge because they've been before this judge a lot. And once again, I will always tell you, if you got a good public defender, you got the best.
How do you know you got a good public defender?
Well, like how you know about anything else. You talk to them, look at what they do for you. Just talk to them. Do they take your calls? Are they explaining the case to you? It's like anything else. And I think intuitively, you get a feel for a person. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And, and the other good news about that, if you are not happy, we got supervisors that you can talk to. You go out there and hire, okay, I ain't gonna talk about hiring private attorneys because I was in private practice. But who's accountable there? The Florida bar, maybe.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, but public defenders are great attorneys, and our community has just had a perception about them that's inaccurate. It really is. It's inaccurate.
I'm gonna be honest. When they told me public defender, I'm like, I don't know. Mm-hmm. I don't want to be sitting behind no jail for no fleeing. Y'all tripping.
I know, and that's what most people think. But
had I known that, I probably would have went on because it was such a petty. It's like even if they had cameras on the dash, you'd see I stopped.
Exactly.
So how was I fleeing?
Listen.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. And what I'm saying is, if you have the means to get an attorney, do so. Make sure but that's like anything else. You better make sure you get the right attorney. You need to make sure that the attorney that you are giving your money to is somebody who practices in this area and those areas. One thing about the public defender, that's all they do. Day in and day out. They know the law, they know the area, and they know the judge. Mm-hmm. So, but good news for you is your case.
No, it's over.
Yeah, man.
I ain't got to worry about it no more.
I know that's right.
So, as a judge, what are some things you're looking forward to?
One of the things I'm looking forward to is because I was a social worker and because I know of resources in the community, I'm looking to do not only your case, but I'm looking to say, especially for kids, where can we get services? Where can I do a referral? Most judges don't even know they can do a referral. Where can I refer this out to so I can get some service? Because see, for me, I know people think public safety means narrowly getting people off the street. And yes, that is public safety. We need violent people off the street. But I think we need to look further. Public safety should be defined broader. We need to talk about, okay, yeah, we got them off the street, but what do we do when they get back on the street? Mm-hmm. How do we ensure that we got some services and some things so that they can become a productive citizen? Mm-hmm. That's true public safety. Mm-hmm. That the person come out a productive citizen. Mm-hmm. And that's how I feel we should look at stuff. And so what I would be looking to do is, listen, I hold people accountable. But I'm going to be looking at it with the eye towards, for kids, redirection, restoration, and redemption. And so that's what I'm looking to bring.
So I just recently went through a cohort with with folks who are justice impacted called Reform Alliance.
Okay.
And Reform Alliance is working on a Safer Supervision Act, right, which talks about, so I learned a lot about parole, probation, that sort of thing. And so what's your thoughts on parole and probation?
You know, I am, wow. There are parts of it that's good, because we talk about supervision and we talk about structures and things in place. And if it's good and good help, then hopefully we can get people, and the word is reacclimated back into society. But I will tell you, for some people, probation is not good. I'm just going to be honest.
And why is that?
Because I think for some people, without services and support in place, it's an issue where you're going to violate, and you're going to be in prison, and that ain't good. When you don't have the support in place, you put people out here with no support on probation. What do you think's going to happen?
Yeah.
Let's just be real. What do you think's going to happen?
Because the person that they got a felony, they locked out of everything, locked out of society. Seem like they can't get housing, they can't get certain things. So how do you expect them to have any type of be any good stewards? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And for kids, let me tell you, people don't understand. You get a felony as a child, a juvenile. You can't go to the military.
Yeah.
You can't be hired by the federal government on what we consider government jobs. You can't even get a barber's license.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't even get licensed.
Yeah.
So, that's why we got to be so careful. These are not just cases and docket numbers. These are people's lives and their futures. And we have to be sensitive to that. And that's what I think I bring. I grew up working every summer on a farm. Hard work. I worked in a tobacco farm. And even though we worked Monday through Friday with my grandparents, on Saturdays, we would go out and serve people. And because people were in rural Georgia, we don't have a whole lot of restaurants during that time, and we certainly didn't have Uber Eats. We were the Uber Eats. We brought the food. And sometimes we'd go in people's homes. And for people who were sick, or what my grandmother's ministry was called a sick and shut in.
Yeah.
You work, help people who can't get out.
Yeah.
And when you go in those people's homes, sometimes you see some things. Nothing went beneath my grandmother. She would help. Listen, they ain't have washing machines. So if you saw some soiled stuff, you had to wash it on hand.
Yeah.
I was my grandmama's helper. And I think what it did, and I now know it was God, because what it did was kind of create in me a desire to help people, no matter what their situation was, no matter what their status was in life. These people couldn't do nothing to help my grandmama and I, but we can do everything to help them. And because my grandmother was so kind, she didn't shame people. And I know that's where I get not only just wanting to serve people, but kind of to treat them with dignity and respect. Because those people, you could easily shame. No. And so that means that what I bring to the bench is any and everybody who come before me will be treated with dignity and respect. And see, that's not something that I do when I get on the bench. That's who I am. That's why when you read my material and people talk about me, one of the things they will talk about is my kindness towards people. But I know where I got that from. That was something developed in me early in life. So, and the reason why I brought that out is because in our communities, one, we don't think it's fair and that we're going to get justice. One of the reasons why is because sometimes when you don't see yourself represented in the system, you don't think it's going to be fair. And so with the lack of African American judges on the bench, which now people have an opportunity to do something different, and can I caveat, I'm just going to move away. The seat that I'm running for, Group 35, is the seat being vacated by Judge Orlando Prescott.
Yeah, I was finna say, I'm finna get to you and let you talk about, you know, the importance of that seat. And talk about Judge Prescott for a minute. Who was he? Let people know who he was.
He been on the bench for 25 years, African-American judge who has done phenomenal things in our community. Honorable man, honorable, smart, really. The thing that I love about him is he just doesn't sit in his ivory tower. He's the administrative judge, but he doesn't sit in the ivory tower. He comes out into the community. He talks to kids. He helps try to redirect kids. Just a phenomenal, phenomenal person who's now retiring.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, that will be a great void left. You know, oh my gosh, I can't go on to tell you the great things about how wonderful this particular judge is to especially kids in our community and boys. He really has mentored a lot of young kids, some who have gone on to law school. Some, I was talking to someone before and they said, oh, I know him because he wrote my letter to get into Morehouse. You know, that's the kind of judge he is, and he's leaving. And so I'm running in his seat.
Yeah, I met Judge Prescott at the alternative program, Georgia Airs alternative program for the university in the courthouse. And so that was the first time I got to actually meet him and see who he actually was, because I hear so many things about Judge Prescott.
Yeah.
When we talk about the judges, and I think we talked about this offline, could you talk about the importance of having black judges, you know, and the importance of it and the disparities that may exist?
Well, here's what I'm going to say: the importance of having judges with diverse backgrounds. Judges can't talk about their cases outside to other people. So who do they mostly talk to? Other judges. And when the other judge comes from the same background, has the same experience, when you talk to them, they talk to you back what you know. It's almost like an echo chamber, right? I say this, it's echo. And the diversity, having diversity, when another judge comes to talk to you, you can talk about some things that judge may not know. And the person who did it the best was the Supreme Court Justice O'Connor, who said when she talked to Thurgood Marshall, there were some things that she didn't believe until he started saying, oh yeah, this happens with black folks. And she said, all of a sudden now certain people who said things gave credibility. Or it's like the example I gave where, you know, this judge didn't understand some cultural things, and it gave credibility that this kid was not fabricating and making it up.
Yeah.
So diversity on the bench is very important. And see, businesses understand that, because businesses understand that in order to be innovative, you need diverse backgrounds, because people bring diverse thoughts to help create innovation. But we also need that in the justice system. We need diversity. For that reason, we make better decisions when we have diversity. But the other reason is that the justice system is to give the appearance of fairness. So that you need a representation on the bench of people you serve in your community. And when one group is missing or lacking, and yet you're serving a population. See, now I'm going to take it out of race. I'm going to talk about business. When the business community comes and they don't see a judge who's had a business background, they feel like, wait a minute, you don't even understand how business operate. How can you judge this? Or you don't even have a framework to think about how this is going to impact the community. So diversity is important.
Yeah. So talk about running for judge. Like, I've heard that it's an uphill battle. You know what I mean? Just to become a judge, and there's certain things that happen in other races that y'all can't do. So can you elaborate on that?
Well, one, it is, and I'm just going to talk about me, okay? I'm going to talk about me in terms of judges. When you don't come from a background with a lot of money, it's difficult. You got to raise money. But judges can't solicit for money. But the filing fee for a judge is almost $9,000. So there are some uphill battles. The other thing is that, unfortunately, in our community, we don't know a whole lot about judges. Thank God for you and what you do and what you have done in terms of getting judges. Because we don't know. Yeah, let's clap for that. That's right.
Hercules.
Hercules. Because we don't know a whole lot about judges. And so what happens, and why it's an uphill battle, is because people go to the top of the ballot and they check off. Judges are on the very bottom. They never go down to the bottom of the ballot and check. So that's an uphill battle when people just aren't voting for judges. It's difficult. Now this has just to do with judges. Judges are so restricted. They can't ask for money. They can't talk about nothing but their background because they can't do anything for them. For example, Congress people, they have developers and people who may want to talk to them. Judges, you can't do anything for anybody. You're impartial. So you can't, lobbyists come to you, what are you going to say? You're impartial, And so you're restricted in what you can say. You're restricted in, what you do. We have a very, because we are to be unbiased, impartial, because there is to be no appearance of bribery. That's why we can't even run. So you have Congress running. A judge can't run with the partisan party. We're considered nonpartisan. So we can't even run. We can't even take pictures with another group that's running. It's very restricted. Very restricted.
I didn't even know that, like how restricted it was. I can see, of course, like the soliciting and things like that. But also, where do you think that's fair? Or do you think that's, I don't even want to say fair. Do you think that, I'm trying to find the word. It's not even constitutional, but it doesn't make sense that I think judges, or I think candidates should be upheld to the same standard as judges in some regards, because if you got a representative that's supposed to represent the people, but they represent the interests of corporations and ignoring the people that make the corporation, make it make sense. You know what I'm saying?
But unfortunately, we have 3 branches of government, and Congress and the judicial branch are very different.
Yes.
And Congress, of course, can talk to lobbyists, and judges cannot.
Yeah.
We cannot. We have totally different standards because we're 2 different areas. They make the law. So they got to listen to, their constituents, lobbyists or developers or whoever.
Yeah.
They make the law. So they got to listen.
But y'all interpret it.
We basically interpret the law. Exactly. So we have different obligations. Yeah.
So in closing, Tell the people why they think they should vote for you.
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
well,
you got this camera right here.
this camera. All right. Here's why you should vote for me. One, because of experience matters. I have 30 years working in our courthouse. I've done everything, both civil and criminal. I am also a supervisor and trainer of attorneys. Like I said earlier, many of the attorneys and judges on the bench I've supervised. I'm an adjunct professor. Experience matters, and I have the qualifications and the experience to be a judge. But there's some other things that why I believe I am more qualified, certainly than my opponent, who has not the kind of experience that I have. But I bring something different. And I think it is important, and that is a strong work ethic. As a judge, I will be prepared. I'm no stranger to hard work. I worked on a farm. I'm no stranger to hard work. Two, I bring a public service heart. I've been in the community, grandparents, raising grandkids, lecturer. You may be a minor, but the consequences of getting arrested are not minor, which I do at schools. The Redemption Project, getting people's workshops, volunteering to get people's records sealed and expunged. I do that in the community. I'm a member of Delta Sigma Theta sorority, where we do a lot of community service, and I've chaired service. There are some things I've done that has nothing to do with an organization. For example, when I learned that the Horace Mann girls, homeless girls, were not coming to school, and we understood why, I funded the Horace Mann Closet to get projects for girls, homeless girls, get products, hygiene products, so that homeless girls could have somewhere to go and get things and not have to steal to get them. I have been in the community with Toastmasters. I've done so many things in our community, and I think that that's one of the things that I bring, the heart for public service. And finally, it's just been my life's, I believe, calling to serve. And I don't take that lightly, and I'm asking you not to take that lightly when you're choosing a judge. You want someone who wants to serve you, someone who's going to treat you with dignity and respect, someone who's going to be fair and bring justice. So I believe you should vote. My vote for Renee Gordon. My punch number is 123. It's as easy as 123. Renee Gordon. Learn more about me. You can go to reneegordonforjudge.com. Learn more about who I am. And once again, remember Renee Gordon, punch number 123, as easy as 123.
Y'all heard it here first. Okay? I got majority of the judges, so don't skip down the ballot, okay? You can complete the whole thing. I'm putting these people in front of y'all face so y'all know who they are. So my whole I don't let my effort go in vain. August 18th, please go vote. Please. That's all I'm asking y'all. It's not hard. Go early vote. That's the easiest thing you can do. Go vote early. You know what I'm saying? If you're in my area, go to Joseph Caleb. Okay? Go to the Joseph Caleb Center. Don't nobody be there middle of the day. After lunch, just go there. I'm just saying, just get it out the way. You don't have to worry about it. And, we ain't going to say get in trouble. You get in some good trouble. You know what I'm saying? Like John Lewis, we just had John Lewis weekend. Get in some good trouble. But if you happen to get into a bind, you might run out as a judge. I'm just saying. It might work in your favor. Don't, you just never know. But my hope is that y'all understand and got to know a little bit more about Miss Renee Gordon. I hope y'all vote her for judge. This is not an endorsement, but that's my buddy. Okay? It's my buddy. I hope y'all understand who she is, and y'all get her in, okay? So I see y'all. When I see y'all, stay tuned for the next episode. Follow us on YouTube. Like and subscribe. Please, I need to get my subscribers up, okay? We trying to do some things, okay? So I need to get my subscribers up. So let's make that happen for me. Peace. See y'all when I see y'all.